Hi, and welcome back to Claire McLean Art. I wanted to follow the Grey Essential colour pencil video with one on brown essentials. So this time, rather than scribbling on a on a piece of paper, I decided to map them out so that it's a bit clearer for you. And how I've mapped them is my own personal take. Just want to get that in first. I'm sure people will disagree potentially. But the reason I wanted to go from greys now to browns is because of how important they are. They are the workhorse of realism in terms of the colour pencil world. They give shadow, they give warmth. You've got tone that you can bring in from grey, and then your browns will give you life, texture, more tone, and bring things into a bigger sense of it being alive. So whether that's animals, architecture, portraits, still life, browns are incredibly important. And as with greys, I think it is initially very confusing. You have lots of different names, you have lots of different brands that give things slightly different names. So you've got all sorts of slight variations in tone depending on which ones you have. So I decided to do some categorization. And the way that I have categorized them are I've started with a dark cool. So these are for shadows, for darkening things up, for giving it a warm, deep, not warm, it's dark cool, but giving it a warmth within the browns, but still having a nice coolness. And my favourite one of those is, without doubt, and probably the one that I would use the most, is a walnut brown from the Faber-Castell Polychromos. So as you can see here, within the brown world, obviously it's still got warmth, but it is a dark and it has a wonderful coolness. But oh my goodness, the blendability of that. I've gone through so many of these. This is getting quite small, but it's a great one. From the Derwent line, I didn't use many Derwents in the previous one, but I have to say the brown selection in all of their lines is absolutely excellent. So your natural brown, I'd say, is probably your biggest equivalent. And it's got a wonderful softness to that. Within the Prismacolors, we've got a dark brown that I'm sort of leaning towards the neutral. I think we can go across the lines. Why not? There's no rules. It's art. There are no rules. And finally, their dark umber, which also has a wonderful depth. I'm sorry if this is bobbing around. I've fixed it to a table. Stop it. So that's my first categorization, but I'd also put the Van Dyck brown sort of in between a dark cool and a neutral. Van Dyck was, of course, the painter from the 17th century who painted beautiful portraits. I shall research why this is a Van Dyck brown. As you can see, the Derwent one is a lot lighter and a lot more neutral. This is the problem, isn't it? You get so many different ones and they do vary. So now we're going into the neutral category, and my favourite one of these is definitely the raw umber from the Polychromos. This is so useful for an initial layer down of a brown. I couldn't do without it. And initially it does look a bit nothing, doesn't it? It doesn't look like the most exciting pencil colour in the world. However, it's almost got a goldy, but not warm, not too warm, not going into the golden area, but it's got that sort of in-between element to it that is hugely important and useful. And I'd say the Bistre, how do you say it? Nobody knows. Is similar to that maybe a little bit more cool, but both excellent neutrals. And then the brown ochre from the Luminance, I'd say, sits in between a neutral and a warm. And is obviously a lot softer, as it is with everything. And finally, the brown ochre from Derwent, which again, I'd say almost sits between as well, doesn't it? Or maybe it sits between a neutral and a golden. Need to find a different way of creating some sort of spreadsheet on this. I may have some sort of element of OCD or just a love of categorization in spreadsheets. So moving on to warm, I'd say burnt sienna is your absolute must. Burnt sienna gives you that real warmth, which is so useful, especially with things like wood, certain furs. They've got more of a depth to them, and something where you've got light. It really brings it out. I say the Pablo is quite similar, maybe a bit darker. And this is the Derwent, which is a lot more orangey, a lot lighter. So, I mean, the contrast between those, all called burnt sienna, all different. And then I'd say the burnt ochre from the polychromos, which again I use a lot, especially when you're heading towards highlights, sits in between. It's almost it's a deep golden. It's a deep golden. But moving on to the goldens, these are more for highlights. So I've got quite a few of these. They're more of the ochres, and I'd say one of the standard ones is the light yellow ochre from Polychromos. Very helpful, especially when you're bringing something like a retriever to life, if you're drawing animals, or if you're trying to get a really lovely golden haze on a landscape or a building. And similarly, the raw siennas from Luminance are beautiful, really lovely and soft. There's two different ones. I don't really understand what the raw sienna FSC really means. I must look that up. They are very similar. This is a bit deeper. And finally, I really do like the ochres from the Pablos. Sorry, one of these is a Supra. Probably couldn't find the Pablo, but they are the same. This is just a bit softer and obviously it's water soluble. And they have a number of different ochres. They also have ochre, I think a different one I can't remember for the life of me now, but they are fantastic. And obviously if you want something a little bit lighter than your Polychromos, that one works very well. So moving swiftly on to the more deep grey taupe browns. Sepia is obviously very handy when you're coming to deepening things up. Shadows, eyes, dark sepia is fantastic. This is the Polychromos one for when you're starting to really structure eyes and depth within whatever you're drawing. I couldn't do without a dark sepia, and again, I've been through a lot of those. The Luminance one is a lot deeper, but I can see the brown in it more, if that makes sense. It's got that real dark cool, so I think I would sit that between the dark cool and the grey. And I think a very underrated line from Derwent is the Pro colours, and I've started using these quite a lot, particularly for detail, because they're so hard. And you can really get some detail in there, and the colours match a lot of the light fast shades. So I would highly recommend, even if you just pick up a couple open stock, to try some of those, particularly for detailed work. You will not be disappointed. And oh, I've missed out a Derwent. Where is it? Ah, yes, my Derwent red sepias. Now, someone recommended to me that these sepia reds are very good for shadowing, so I have started using these quite a bit. They're a bit more, I'd cross it over between the grey and the warm because they've still got that sort of burnt sienna element to them, but they are very good because they just give a really interesting, almost like deep sanguine depth, and that was the drawing pencil. And finally, let's move on to a wild card, but the one that straddles the dark grey, brown and the green that I'm moving into is the Luminance Raw Umber. And I have used this quite a bit, and the Raw Umber 50 and 10% are incredibly good when you're layering in your shadows. And again, I think they're very underrated. They do look kind of muddy. That's the whole point of these. And my last category is using a more green, muddy shade. Gives a more natural shadow. Apologies for my voice. I'm just getting over something. So that is my categorization. So we're moving from your dark cool for shadows and structure, your neutrals for layering, your warm for warmth, your gold for highlights, your taupes for reinforcing shadows and really creating a lot more depth, and your greeny browns for natural depth. So let me know what you think. I'd be really interested to see what people also do. Do you agree? Do you think those are the right ones? And finally, what I'll do is just pick out my 5 favourites. I put this in a short, but hopefully this is also helpful. They are very polychromos heavy because I do think they do the best browns. And as I've said, you cannot do without walnut brown. You don't have to buy the full set of polychromos. You can pick out the ones that you will use the most. I'd say walnut brown should be in it. Secondly, it is the Raw Umber. Fantastic neutral brown for layering. Really works very well. Kind of looks a bit muddy initially, but you can't beat it. And the burnt sienna, you really do need a nice warm brown in your set, I would say. And for highlights, the light yellow ochre. Really lovely golden shade. There are obviously Naples ochre and things like that as well you can get, or in the bigger sets. And last but not quite last, dark sepia. That's the top 5. Really deep but not black. As I said before, do not go in with black until you absolutely have to. And my final wild card is, sorry, I didn't even mention what it was. It's the Pablo. This is the Supra, but same difference. Caran d'Ache, Pablo, olive brown. Excellent for that depth. Anyway, I'd love to see what you think in the comments below. Please do let me know if I resonate with these choices. It is just my opinion, my way of categorizing and breaking things down to make things a little bit easier. What I was going to do next were earth colors, and I do use a lot of lighter earth colors, and I think they're really helpful, whatever you're doing. And I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time for listening to me ramble on about pencils yet again. And it'd be really nice to see you next time. Thank you.